Hi guys, so I just wanted to go through a little bit more in depth than my last video. Some of the features and findings I have about the Marvel Legends Star-Lord helmet, which we've got over here. It's actually a pretty amazing piece of kit for only about $100 in my opinion. And I wanted to show it off and explain some of the stuff I figured out about it. So come on over here real quick, and you'll see the paint and finish on it is pretty interesting. The initial Amazon listing for the mask showed that it had some kind of wire mesh in the eyes, but it's clear from looking at it a little closer. There's no wire mesh in there. It just seems to have a series of dots, like laser etched or engraved onto the eyes. But the bigger thing is more how the helmet actually opens and closes and fits together that I wanted to show off. So let's just take a look at this real quick. You can see the inside of the helmet, if you just dip down in here, is fully realized, I guess. There's some kind of engraved plastic details, or I guess molded plastic. It's pretty interesting, the fact that they took the time to do all of that. The battery pack sits right here in the front of the mouth. There's these molded rubber face gaskets or settings, I guess, that kind of make it more comfortable to wear than many of the other options I've seen. And there's also a bunch of straps. This sits on the back of your head here, and it's adjustable with the elastic. And in here, there is also a chin strap, which I found not to be particularly necessary when wearing it, but the big thing is that the helmet can completely open up so that you can get it on your big dumb head if you have a head like mine, and you just kind of hinge it up and out and back, and you can see that the whole thing kind of clamshells open like this. And you can put your head in here, and the big thing that I didn't understand earlier about it is I closed it up like this. You just close the details on the back. And I thought this was how it sat permanently. I just assumed this was it, closed. Obviously that's not the case, because if you push just a little bit harder, like here, you can see it starts flushing itself up. The lines all meet and the seams all close, and you have to do it on both sides here. So you just kind of push a little bit. It's a little stiff, I guess, to start with, but it does work. This is the button that turns the lights on and off. You just press that, plays a little sound effect and dims the eyes on. And you can't see it out here because we've got too much light, but the button is adjustable. You can hit it a couple times to dim or turn off the LEDs. The details on this are actually pretty intense. Having spent a lot of time looking at this myself when I was making my own mask, things like these ribbed cables here are actually molded into the plastic, which is a really nice little detail. I think these should be silver, based on my understanding of the original mask. But you could obviously touch these up without too much trouble. And things like the little wire mesh here in the front is also present in some kind of molded plastic form. It's pretty neat. They did cut some of these slits out so you can breathe in here, and also, I guess, communicate through the front of the mask. The bottom holes are shut because this is where 3 AAA batteries sit inside. But overall, it's a really impressive little piece of kit here. I'm going to just put this on so I can hopefully demonstrate. Glasses are a no-go in here, unfortunately, so you have to wear contacts. I'm just going to open the clamshell part up and see if I can get this on my head, like that. There we go. And then you close the back down, and push, and push. And that should be relatively seamless here. And actually, the visibility in here is not bad, I have to say. There we go. And if you take a look at the sides and the back, you can see how it's worn. Let's just pull my collar down a little bit. And obviously this does have the functionality where it plays music through the mask.
Am I?
I don't know. Hang on, let's see. There we go. Speakers are right in here, and obviously on the other side as well. And it's got some pretty good projection. They took time to, on the overlapping parts, like put all this extra mechanical looking details in. It's a nice little touch, I guess, for while you've got it open, although when it is closed, no one can really see any of that. But nonetheless, I'm quite impressed. But let's get in here real quick. I'll try and hold the head straps out of the way. The gasket here is pretty movable. It's not fixed in anywhere other than the middle of the mask, so you can kind of flex it to fit your face pretty comfortably. It can twist a little bit. The nose bridge is what carries most of the weight of the helmet on this. If you're a guy like me with a pretty substantial looking nose, it can be ride a bit high, but obviously because it gives a little bit, it's a little squishy. It's more than wearable. Like I said, I didn't ever find the chin strap to be particularly usable or necessary. It's just maybe my head's big enough that it's not a problem. I guess if you're doing some kind of acrobatics, you'd be glad that you still have it there to keep it on your head. There's a little switch right here that controls the Bluetooth speaker functionality. That is the on position. If you flip it this way, it just switches the Bluetooth feature completely off, so that I guess you don't have to deal with it being synced up with your phone or not. I did find syncing it in the first use or two to be a little difficult. I had to hit this over to the on position, and then you have to hit the LED button, the light button, a little bit to kind of wake the helmet up so it starts scanning for something to sync with. I was able to get it running after about 5 minutes of fiddling with my phone, but...
And only one phone at a time.
Well, yeah, only one phone at a time, too, that's right. We're filming on my phone right now, so we had to use Maria's phone in order to actually play the music through. But that's typical for most Bluetooth devices anyway. One thing I just want to do, if we can, is I want to bring this into somewhere a little bit darker. So let's take this inside, just so I can show how the LEDs look in anything other than direct sunlight. Hopefully this will be a bit more visible. Let's see if I can find the button. Here it is, and hit that. You see it dims and then comes back on, and it plays some audio that I guess is meant to sound like the helmet is being deployed over your face. And if you press the button a couple times, you can dim it, like that, and like that. Helps with your visibility. They do make it very clear in the instruction manual that this will blind you almost completely at night. I guess without another light source outside the helmet, all you would see is the LEDs. But it is pretty cool, and I have to say, visibility, not too bad in here. You can kind of still do stuff with this helmet on. Which is surprising considering how small the eye portholes actually are on the design. Overall, I'm really impressed with this helmet. I would consider it an absolute steal for $100, which is what it costs to grab off of something like Amazon Prime. I'm going to put a link in the description down below so you guys can take a look. I will note that I don't think Amazon releases this helmet until August 1st, so I may have gotten mine a little early. But it does come with Prime 2-day shipping and everything, and I think if you're a fan of the series, you'd be crazy not to pick something like this up for all the features it has. But why don't you leave a comment down below and tell me what you guys think, and thanks for watching.